Hey guys, how you doing? Joe here. Still getting used to calling this thing JP Tech and Review, but today is another really cool McPew. And for those of you that have already seen this early, thank you guys for joining and becoming members. For those of you that are considering doing it, keep in mind that you get 1 week early access with no ads to my videos. So there is that bonus there. If you want to, drop me a message, drop me a line. I didn't change the email name or anything, although I probably will to match the channel at some point. But anyways, by coming along, helping the channel grow, 2 members, yeah, awesome. It will help the channel become more popular. The more popular it gets, the better the chances are that people will send me stuff to check out. I've checked out a Streamlight. I've checked out some gun wax. I'd like to check out some firearms and some ammunition. So help me get to that level, guys, and I'll take you along for the ride, because hopefully my just kind of relaxed, I'm looking to buy for myself kind of attitude will help you guys make your decision, because I could get super clinical, go down to the millimeter on dimensions, tell you exactly what the kick from a 185 grain wad cutter would do in a 230 grain trained gun, blah, blah, blah. That's not what this stuff's about. Now, when I'm at the range, I like to give you some better ideas, but today, right now, we're just doing a review. So YouTube, Bloodhounds, just back the hell off. I'm not modifying it. I'm just showing the firearm, how to clean it, and how to put it back together. That's just safety, because as long as somebody knows how to do it, they'll be safer. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, let's take a look at another Kimber. The last one we looked at was a Kimber. That was the little itty bitty Micro 9. I almost said Micro Poo, but that was the Micro 9, and I really liked it. It's not 100% my cup of tea, especially when something like this exists. This is a 1911 custom lightweight from the Kimber shop, Kimber Manufacturing, and it's called the Shadow Ghost, and it's a beautiful, beautiful two-tone black and gunmetal. And yeah, I saw this thing and I almost bought it, because I wanted a gun that was gunmetal for a long time, and the two-tone looks really nice. However, I wanted to give somebody a chance to buy it. Somebody did. However, if you want one, contact Liberty Arms down in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Tell them, hey, look, I saw it. Joe was showing it off, and I'd like to get one, because they are set up with a couple of distributors who are licensed to sell Kimber firearms. So maybe they can help you at least get past the weight, and then you don't have to pay the additional transfer fees versus shipping it in and paying the FFL transfer. So 45 ACP, lock her back, show you that she is indeed empty. And there is the magazine. So yeah, we are good there. It comes with one magazine in the box, but it uses standard 8-round 1911 mags. So if you're a 1911 guy, or even know anybody that is, you should have access to magazines. I have 15 sitting in a shelf in a closet over there. This is the box. As you can see, it looks pretty plain because this foam comes out. That's always nice, because then you can hide a bunch of stuff underneath it, including all your paperwork. It has your thank you for trusting Kimber 1911 cleaning instructions. 1911 cleaning instructions. This is a standard 1911 5-inch, so you can use these for pretty much any 1911. This does have the alloy frame, so if there are a couple of differences, keep that in mind. A really nice bound book with your instructions, lots of diagrams, all that stuff. That's a really cool thing to have, because in today's digital age, this is becoming a long lost item and will become very rare when the apocalypse happens and we don't have access to our QR code readers. But other than that, you get your gun lock and just a couple of promotions. That's all set aside. Let's go back to this guy. Full 5-inch gun, 45 ACP, full length guide rod. I'm off the fence either way. I don't really care. I like them both. You can't do your press checks when you have a full-length guide rod, but I will say that in all the time I've known people, outside of a movie or somebody trying to manipulate on the side of a table for fun, I've never seen somebody actually press check a 45 that way. Especially when you have front slide serration, so you can just do that. Steel slide, alloy frame, probably aluminum and some other materials mixed. Feels really nice in the hand. Checkered backstrap, that is of course removable because it's a real 1911, unlike that little itty bitty Micro 9 I showed you. It actually appears to be plastic. Let me know in the comments if yours is, but this is clearly You can very clearly see this one is plastic. You can interchange that for all kinds of different stuff. You can put mag wells, back straps. You can get front strap checkering done. This gun is only $780, so it's not going to have front strap checkering at $780. The fact that it has fiber optic fronts with the low snag rears and slide serrations in the front and skeletonized hammer, adjustable trigger, and all the standard stuff that you'd really want in a 1911 at 780 bucks. Don't expect too much. You can find a machine shop to do front strap checkering. However, in all the guns I've owned, I've just found skate tape is just as effective. Get some really good Talon grip tape or some skate tape, put it on there, put the grips back on, and you are good to go. Speaking of the grips, these are a Hogue. Probably. They're just a soft rubber grip. I like a soft rubber grip. I have had some really nice hard grips. Either way, I'm good. It has a nice polished barrel and chamber area, so it contrasts pretty nicely. As you can see up here, it's got a polished barrel, and the full-length guide rod is also polished. I hope I'm pointing the right way. I do apologize. Sometimes from this angle, I might be turned around. Over here, you will see that you have one-sided safety, so it is not an ambidextrous safety. It's okay because it's not an ambidextrous slide lock slide release. Grip safety is actually pretty flat on this one. Does not have the enhanced memory notch. Again, take it or leave it. I don't mind. Actually, I find that my hand can get further in on that grip safety, which may be the design of it. Let me know in the comments. But without the memory notch there, my thumb isn't hitting anything and then sliding on. It's just grabbing and going, which allows you to activate this fantastic single action trigger, which I will show you right now. Have to depress your grip safety, but once you do, oh, nothing better than a 1911 trigger. Doesn't matter if it's an ATI or some junk or a Llama or a Colt or a Kimber or a Rock. That is just magniflorious. It is adjustable. The adjustment is all the way in, which means the trigger doesn't go as far, so it acts like a short trigger. You could pull the stop out, allowing the trigger to go back farther and then create a long trigger feel. This one is wonderful. Reset. Oh. Listen. You can hear it, you can feel it, and when you stop it, you're just ready to go. I could just sit and stare at this thing all day, but we need to take it apart. In order to do that, it's a 1911, it's pretty easy, but we are going to first rack it a little too hard because I'm at a weird angle, and safety check it one more time. Why does he do that, you ask, as he does it in a slow manner? Well, that's because I'd rather expound and pound into your brain that safety comes first. The more safe you are, the more fun you're going to have because you're not sitting there wondering, oh, is there a bullet in it? Oh, I don't know. And then you wind up shooting a buddy, shooting yourself, shooting your dog, shooting your dog's buddy, shooting your buddy's friend, shooting your friend's buddy's dog. Don't do any of that. I like to leave the hammer back and engage the manual safety. What that does is it stops the slide from moving back so that you can put pressure on this front bushing. That's where this guy comes in handy. Again, a lot of 1911s like the Rock Islands, it's really easy to put this in. Push this in so you don't need this. This one, you actually need the bushing tool. And I've actually done this before. I had this gun for about a weekend, and I couldn't get the bushing off because I didn't notice the bushing tool was in with the gun. Be very careful. Otherwise, that plunger plug thing will go flying like a bat out of Hades. And ask me how many holes I have in my ceiling. Here's a hint. It's more than 4. Once you do that, you can go ahead and come back over here, drop your safety, and you'll notice there's no more resistance because you don't have the plug or the recoil spring, so you can just line it up really easy, he says as he misses, and pop this guy out. I do apologize, I don't have any nails right now. I went to a nail donation center and donated them. There we go. Brand new gun, a little bit of lube, working it back and forth would make that easier. I also want to avoid the idiot mark because, again, not my gun. Once you do that, you can separate the frame from the slide. Full-length guide rod comes out. There you go. Bing, bang, boom. Swinging link, which is your standard 1911 feature. You also have, right now, this bushing is turned the wrong way, so you got to turn it back the other way. and wiggle it just a little bit. Again, dry gun, dry-ish. It has some assembly lube on it, but it hasn't been broken in, hasn't had this shock of a few rounds going through it to break things loose. But once you do that, you put your link in the down position, or down when the gun is upside down, and you just pull the barrel right out. Once you do that, you have your free and clear 1911 slide. And as you can see, this is a Model 70 style internal. I always say Model 70 style or Model 80 or Series 80 style, and that's because I was corrected and there are some fundamental differences in the firing mechanisms. It's just designed to work kind of similarly. There are some companies that prefer to use a Series 80 style internal, Colt for one, since they developed the damn thing, and a couple of other manufacturers. This Kimber happens to have the regular Series 70s internal. Taking a look at the barrel, it's a nice finished barrel. It looks like they polished it a little bit. Took some stainless steel probably and wound it around to give it the brushed look. Very nice lugs in the top of the chamber there. So it's going to lock up very tightly against the inside of the slide. Nice flat barrel there with just a little bit of a lip so that the rounds can just go right from the mag right into the barrel. You don't want a ramp. In the early days, I used to say a ramp barrel was better. It's not. That's for 9mm. Again, you learn things. That's why you've come along with me on the channel. Internal extractor, firing pin block plate back there. Tight that down. It will allow you to take everything out. We're not going to disassemble it that far today. Firing pin tube is right there. It's all colored inside. This is it. I'm not 100% sure if this was Parkerized or Cerakoted, but it's a very nice finish. Should last the course as long as it gets taken care of. Taking a look at the frame, this guy is nice and light. So it does bring the weight down of the gun quite a bit, so it's like taking a full magazine's worth of bullet weight out of the firearm. It can make the difference to some people whether or not they carry it. Very nice transition from the mag recess into where the little bit of the truncated barrel sits, so this should allow your hollow points to just go boink right into the barrel, and that's what you want. Overall, the rails are very nice. I love these full-length rails on 1911s. It aids in stability. It also helps with your perception of recoil, because if you don't feel the slide going back and forth, side to side and back and forth, it might feel a little bit more stable. Might. Your mileage may vary. But once you take all that apart, you have a field stripped 1911 reassembly. Super duper easy. You just take your barrel and you just start smashing it into I'm kidding. You take your barrel and your slide, because it's a real 1911. Sorry, I've been dealing with a lot of like 1911 styled guns, and they've been kind of annoying me, so it's nice to work with a real 1911. And you just take your drop link, make sure it's down, slide the barrel back in the front. Do this before you put your springs and stuff back in. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but it's a lot easier to do it now because you don't have to feed it through the spring at this point. Now the barrel won't just flop the heck out. From here, you need to take your full-length guide rod, that guy right there, make sure the skinny end goes in, put your link up, drop your link right there, or your guide rod in there. Normally I'd be putting some extra assembly lube. It has lube on it, and again, this is a sold firearm, so I am not going to modify it in any way. Take your spring, drop it back down. Take your spring, one takes, man, you gotta love them, and you're going to drop it back down over the end of the guide rod. Yeah, there you go. Before I put that back in, I'm going to go ahead and take the entire assembly, now that it's upside down, put the link in the what will eventually be the vertical down position, start the slide onto the frame. Oh yeah, man has really bad nerve damage. Let's have him reassemble a gun at an angle he's not used to. There you go. Make sure your guide rod clears. If it doesn't clear, it's going to bind up. Go ahead and hold your gun up and bring it back until the link is visible in this hole. On the other side of the gun, take your slide lock slide release. You can let it just hang freely. That's perfectly fine. But what I like to do at that point, lock it back again. That way the slide will not go rearward. Take your plunger, shove it back in there like it was something you weren't supposed to have in your bedroom. You can already see, first time I've taken it apart, it's actually already loosened up quite a bit. But take your plunger tool here, put it on, and boom. Once you've done that, drop that so that you can pull this up. And I just pull it out just enough to make sure that it clears the side of the frame so I don't put the idiot mark on it. Bring it up here. Bring the slide back to the disassembly spot. Push down just enough to get it started. By doing that, you avoid the idiot mark. Don't want idiot mark, especially on a nice finish like this. But once you've done that, go ahead and make sure she functions again. A little bit of a slower video. Didn't need to rush through this one, and I don't intend to do that for moving forward. I want you guys to get good information and information that you can pause it and stop it and jump back and forth and get what you need. Would I recommend one of these guns? Yes, I definitely would. I have shot Kimber guns. They are good guns, especially if you can get one for $780. That's a great price for a 1911 right now. Rock Islands in this configuration with front and rear slide serrations, with fiber optic sights and all the fun stuff that's on here. They're almost the same money right now, $625 to $650 for the TAC 2 Ultras, and they aren't even shipping still. So this is a hell of a deal right now. Yes, it's more than a Glock. Yes, it's more than your Palmetto State Dagger. Yes, it's more than a lot of guns, but it's a 1911. It's a proven system. You take care of it, it's going to last a super long time. It looks good. This is classic Ferrari 250 GTO in a world full of squished frickin' Priuses. Pick one of these things up, take it out, shoot it. I started drooling. I love this thing so much. But take one out, shoot it. If you have a buddy that has a 45, take it out and shoot it. Feel how soft a 45 actually shoots. Sounds stupid, but a 2.5-inch barrel 9mm versus a 5-inch 45, this is so much easier to shoot. If you have any other questions, feel free to contact Liberty Arms down in Harrisonburg, Virginia. Leave me a comment, all that fun stuff. Use my links, subscribe, join, get early videos, all that fun stuff. And as always, I'm going to stand up so that I can get to the phone, and I'll talk to you later. Lean you forward, look at the gun, and